nothing to do with law and policy. What is just, and what is a crime is a crime. And right now, a lot of these brothers that are being held behind the wall is basically public executions, because they've convinced the public that these people are dangerous, or that they have this huge amount of power that will allow them to overthrow the government and things of that nature. When, in all honesty, we watched a group of people attack the White House and nothing. I mean, the person that incited that is running the country. I mean, damn. Uh, let's look at the situation and call it what it is. A spade is a spade. It's a bunch of fuckery going on, and as long as we don't stand up and call it out and spotlight it, we're gonna keep on allowing the spiritual foot to be put on our neck. You know, is stand for something or fall for anything. Down your feet or live on your knees. Uh, we got to make the change within our communities ourselves and reinstill the will to fight, the will to stand up, the will to not just accept things for it is what it is, and we don't have the power to do it. You know, this isn't exactly a David and Goliath situation, because we have the power to unify. We don't surround ourselves with cowards. So it's and no offense to those that feel like, you know, is you're not there yet. You know, that time will come, everything comes in a season. But for those that are willing to stand up, it's time to stand up. You know, for those that are willing to communicate, it's time to start talking. It's time to start building an action plan so that we can actually make some moves. The marches and things like that are beautiful. It brings people together. But to solidify and actually become a unit that's moving as one with actual goals and agendas that are being knocked down, that's a different story. And I feel like that's the next critical part of the plan, is to formulate a true action plan and to stick to it. You know, and I feel like that's the true reason why these people are being held in prison and not being released, is because we don't understand the laws. We don't know the laws. We don't know the criteria for what they're doing to let people out. And we go in with these feelings and beliefs, and they don't add up to anything in the court of law. You know, you have, like in the feds, you have a point system according to what you did, but then you can turn around and be judged. The judge can make a decision outside of the point system. It has benefited some, but how is that fair? That leaves everything in the hands of one man to decide whether my life is worth being thrown away or being given a second chance, when the laws say I deserve a second chance. And that's the case in a lot of these stories. So that's what I feel like we need to be looking into, is why do these judges get to overpower the law? Why do they get to dictate that this man fits all the he checks all the boxes, but he still can't go home? That's what I feel like. That's just my opinion on the subject.
Indeed. Anybody else want to chime in on that? Anybody else want to chime in on that? I know OG. I see you, OG. Go ahead, chop in.
No, I was gonna ask, you know, when it come down to, you know, even when I did 20 years, do these laws, when they pass these laws for tourism, it's a demographic, it's a state, it's affected by it. Is it just for a fed, or it's for state inmates too? Because some of these laws get passed, it don't affect the state inmates. You know what I'm saying? Or it don't affect these certain inmates. Prison have been overlooked. These sisters that's on here on these doc, they have, been in that move. They have been trying to, get guys out these prison from. They have been trying, we as a whole on this platform have been trying to, entwine on the prison system and trying to, they came down here, Rock Nation, for the Mississippi Department of Corrections came down here, and just made a mockery out of it. You know what I'm saying? I was in the prison during the time. You feel me? And they made a mockery out of it. Like they really trying to help us and do this and do that. and still, but I feel left still didn't nobody get out. The condition got worse. It didn't get better. It got even worse. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, I don't know, man. When it comes down to stuff like that, even communities, you know what I'm saying? Our communities now, it's not strong. The community I'm in right now, I'm in a community right now, a black community. Like I said earlier, a couple of shows ago, we don't even say hello to each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't even, if something happens, we don't even, go in, see if the person all right. You know what I'm saying? The community is not strong. It's not strong together. It's not us on this platform. It's the community. We got to get the community. I don't know how we can get these communities, you know what I'm saying, to really step into place now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we get the community is our only factor to get the unity intact. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, we got sisters out here that doctors, that they have experienced this kind of things. I like to get their opinion on the subject too. So
Indeed.
Can I weigh in just real quick on the solution should be, for just especially for us. I know we're all together, but us as a people, I the brother mentioned January 6th, how a person was able to throw a coup on our, on our democracy. So now what we're looking at is that, and we have to really be, yes, I don't watch the news. No, right now you should. Right now you should. I'm not saying overly do it, but get some education about what's going on with our youth and the education system. He's dismantled the education system and fired just about all of those federal employees. He's dismantling, the IRS system. Right now he fired about 8,000 employees, and there's taxes that are just sitting in the computer and haven't been moved. Eggs, you guys, is $10 a dozen in some parts of our neighborhood, and we already are looking at violence in a way that, to me, it's gonna get Cambridge in that form or another. And what should be more important is how we're going to be able to survive through this election, through this democracy, through what's going to go on. Are we going to be able to sustain a war if whatever this president is saying that he wants to go over to the West Bank and some business that does not have anything to do with us? So we have to stay focused and make sure that, I hear people a lot saying, well, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote this cycle because there's not anybody in there that I like. I don't like anybody. I'm not going to vote. This is not for me. With this last presidency run, I had to really go for the lesser of the two evils, you guys. I didn't want to not support my democracy and what is my freedom to do. So to have what we're going to be into within the next, I believe, 9 months to the next year, we're going to have to provide freedom schools in our communities. We're going to have to knock on these doors and talk to the people about how they're trying to stop, once again, a constitutional right. However, spear and add fire to the lack of education, to mass incarceration, because what are our young people going to do? Yes, we're going to try to find trades for them to engage in, but HBCU or different things like that is not for some of our people in our community. So we just have to galvanize and, yes, stand on, like I said, communication. We have to come together on solutions that we're going to go to the polls and we're going to canvass and we're going to stand there until we get what we need for our community. I can't even imagine having a school system without without a special education, a diverse learning department. I can't imagine that. That would be a disaster for our children. And I'm not just saying African American children. So, we have to really take it to the polls. We have to learn how to lobby in legislature and understand what needs to go in and what needs to come out. And that's something for a committee, as we're moving forward. Everybody can't do that type of skill, but there's something for anybody in this movement that we're moving, inside out to reach, not just only for my dad, but for brothers that are, still trapped in that criminal responsibility, slave, narcissistic mentality that Tennessee has, which it doesn't make sense to me. I try to wrap my mind around it, but that has to go. That definitely has to go off of the books of Tennessee, so it won't go anywhere else. So me politically is the piece that we need to get involved in the school system, get involved in the penal system, get involved in what's going on with the economics, get involved in what's going on with climate change. There's different ways and lanes that we can get involved in because each and every one of us have different attributes. So for me, it's like not just get in where you fit in, just get in, and we can figure the rest out. And that's the only thing that I wanted to weigh in on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're gonna I love that. I want to come back
I
to
would like
something
to
I got.
chime in before I would like to chime in before we move on. One of the things that I think as a people that we need to address is preparation and sustainability. And I give you a scenario. In my community, it's called New Chicago. And I tried to buy this whole community as far as all the buildings and all the empty lots and homes. And we have remodeled about maybe 80 homes. And what we do is remodel these homes, affordable homes, and then we sell them back. But we work with the people income. So I said that to say that when COVID hit, that pandemic, this community did not have to run out to no grocery store, anything like that, because in this very building, I have enough supplies here to sustain this community for the next 5 years. And that's what I mean about preparation and sustainability. So we're gonna have to take that mindset because we do a lot of talking, but we don't do a lot of walking. We do a lot of philosophizing, but we need a clear, precise, strategic plan of action because it's going to be a lot of people dying. Because these people are going to create genocide on us. And I ran for the governor of the state of Tennessee, and that was one of the things I talked about. And I also sued the city of Memphis, Shelby County, and the state of Tennessee, and the governor for $20 billion because of we charge genocide. I think even with the state, in order for us to be effective, we have to get past the state. We will have to go to the United Nations a little higher than the state because the state is playing games. And let's not fool ourselves. They can pass as many bills as they want, but we know that the penal system is a multi-billion-dollar business. So they're not going to do anything to benefit us. So we have to be creative enough and strategic enough to work our plan. And I just believe in a plan of action because if we're just going emotional and reactionary, we're never going to beat them at this game.
Indeed.
Can I chime in?
Indeed. Hold that. We gotta pay some bills real quick. You know what I'm saying? We gotta pay that, cut to, you know what I'm saying, handle that real quick. So, you know what I'm saying, later we're gonna kick it over to you to take care of the bills. We'll get back to that convo in just a minute.
And we'll be right back, guys.
Fifth Sun TV Network, proud sponsor of the Solution Radio, streaming live on Roku television every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, this your girl, Lady Red. Just letting you know if you want to be a sponsor or or you would like to put your ad on the Solution Radio podcast show, hit us up at WRTSradio1 at gmail.com. Once again, that is WRTSradio1 at gmail.com. And leave your information. We're waiting to hear from you. Big We Global Community Organization and Unity is an organization driven to help people no matter the race, creed, age, or religious background. They're here to help all men and women. So tap in with the Big We organization today. Also sponsored by the Solution Radio Podcast Show. Artisan Global Records Empire, better known as AGE, run by our very own Billy Stokes, is also the proud sponsor of the Solution Radio Podcast Show.
This your boy T-Pole. This the new Solution Radio Podcast Show. And if it ain't AGELREEFE and the family, I'ma keep saying it till I get tired. Overstand, leg up. This your boy T-Pole. This the new Solution Radio Podcast Show. And if it ain't AGELREEFE and the family, I'ma keep saying it till I get tired. Overstand, leg up.
Okay then. So we welcome back after the break. Welcome back. We got Pastor Dave. We're gonna bring him on, and we got Mr. Carlos Parr. We're gonna bring him on. We also got another young lady in the backstage. We're gonna bring them on.
Bring them in. Looks like we have Miss LaPortia Peoples. So we're gonna bring Pastor Davis on. Pastor David, you in?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the show one more time, Pastor David. I remember you on the last show we did.
First
yeah.
Then he started some type of
yeah.
So we gonna take out Mr. Pars. I don't think he quite ready yet. So we gonna remove him.
Okay, so get him on now.
Y'all ready?
Right. So I know Mr. Stokes wanted to jump back in on what we were talking about.
Because Sister Amina had said something, and Sister Atwaters had said something that was very it piqued something in me as far as the preparation part of the situation. And only thing I really wanted to add to that value and that piece of knowledge right there, especially with the insight of it, is that re-educate. You know what I mean? Like she said with the Freedom School, I am 110% in with that, because it's not only that, in my opinion, that can help our youth become something greater than them themselves, but it helps teach our community the laws, almost like the Huey action of knowing our laws, to be able to let these people know where we stand according to the rights, according to these constitutions that they've written and things of that nature. We ain't gonna just talk about the French War. We're gonna talk about why the French War was even created, and slavery and all these kind of things these youth don't know about. Re-educating the value of our core to understand what we are fighting for. Not only just freedom, but liberation, and understanding that we really don't need y'all to police our communities. We'll call you when we need you. You feel what I mean? Like, it's a lot of things that used to be old that still works new, because if it didn't work, they wouldn't have used it. After they dismantled a lot of things, or thought they dismantled a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? We have to get back to that value of it all, and don't be too radical in the situation, because if we realize what all the radicalness has done for us, it ain't did nothing but make them change the law, so we can't actually stand and protect ourselves, because they know we know it now. So we have to use the same paperwork. The pen is mightier than the sword, they say. So sometimes the same pen they wrote it with, we dismantle them with it.
I was gonna jump in there and say something about that, like a few solutions to add to that, like the petitions. I know people that they worry about GoFundMe's and all of that, but it will be creating our own funding system for what we're trying to do. We can go to the government and ask them, hey, okay, grants, this, that, XYZ, but we come up with our own fund, our own infrastructure, our own, you know what I'm saying? It gets back to coming up to our own. It's a lot of what I'm saying is it's like petitions. It was some other thing I was thinking about that has to do with that. Getting these people to sign stuff, getting them involved. I feel like people won't do nothing until they feel like they're important or they're involved. Okay, I'm involved. I'm invested in this. I'm not just standing on the sidelines. I did my part. You know what I'm saying? Just having a little something to where they can sign. I don't know. I just threw something out there, you know. Just
let me jump in.
No, go ahead, Mr. David.
Listen, first giving all praises to God and my Lord and Savior Yahshua for making it possible for me to be here. And I want to thank the brothers and sisters for being on the show. See, for the lack of knowledge of people will perish. And Black people are perishing because we don't know nothing. We don't take the time to research. We don't take the time to start talking about things in our community. Just like all the homosexual stuff in our community, Black people wasn't even aware of it, and they just got on top of it. But it's been going on since Barack Obama. I heard the sister say something about this time. See, what we better understand it is, first of all, we got to get rid of all them house Negroes that's been voted into office that don't have any concern for our community. How is it here in Chicago? We got all these Black leaders and the Black community is on a bunch of crap. So the first thing we need to do is to unify ourselves, the grassroots people, because we've allowed these white folks to separate us. All these educated Negroes who call themselves Greek don't think that they're Black. And so what they've done, if they've invested themselves into the political system and into the school system, and so that's why we see Black people doing what we're doing to our kids, is because they don't believe that the grassroots Black people are still living. So the first thing we need to do is start to unify ourselves. We have to get past this street thing about this one got this color, that one got the color. We all Black men and we fight the same enemy. So we have to get through with that. Secondly, we have to understand the system. A lot of Black men and women don't understand the justice system. We don't understand the economic system. Half of them can't read and write because the school system haven't taught the kids nothing. And so until we really get people that want to get concerned about change into a position of change. See, as a pastor, what I figured out soon enough was this. God gave us this world as pastors, and I know a lot of pastors might not agree with me, but then if you ain't trying to fight for your people, then you're not in line with God. We have to understand this. We have to quit waiting on other people to free us. We have to quit depending on these programs that they got that we get into and we be looking for them dollars. As a unit, Black people spend more money than everybody, but we don't own nothing. And so when we get on these shows and we start talking about the condition of our lives, we put ourselves in those conditions because we refuse, one thing, to educate ourselves about a system that hates us. Two, we refuse to unify and invest into our own communities. That's what Malcolm was talking about. Dr. King was talking about at the end of his tenure, how he brought Black people into a burning house. That's true. Malcolm said, we don't need to be there. Let's be self-sufficient. Let us take our money and purchase our neighborhoods. Let us be entrepreneurs. That's why I say the leadership that we got in office is not conducive to the grassroots people. Because if Black people own their own stores, if we own the gas station, if we owned our schools that we should own, then we can teach our children about Black history, economics, the trades, home. I mean, we could get back to a place where we are self-sufficient and we can teach our children how to be and move around in this system. And we're not doing that. And one of the major problems that I'm gonna talk about here quickly before y'all get on there. Now, the justice system is just for us, and a lot of brothers don't spend time when they shouldn't have been spending time. I've been on a campaign right now to work to get Larry Hoover out and Jeff Ford, and it's a process. I was at the inauguration with President Trump. I had a chance to speak to some of his people. And the process is we have to get these names and numbers, and we have to make noise. We can't be quiet about Larry sitting in jail for 50 years for ghost dope. We can't keep sitting around talking and pontificating and not taking actions. We need to take legal actions. Until we start formulating not just committees, but until we start formulating financial committees and social committees. Because in order to change the way people act, we have to change the way we think. And Black people are thinking about handouts. We're thinking about programs. I'm not thinking about that. Here in Chicago, we can get houses for $1, invest into a remodeling team, and put our people back into these things. But because of the leadership, we got all these Black people in place. Maxine Waters, we got Brandon Johnson, all these Negroes across the country who love Black people when it come time to vote, but when it come time to stand up for the community, they missing in action.
They ain't got no backbone, Pastor.
I already know that. That's why I'm saying it. So the point that I'm making is this, to all of us here on this, let us stop talking. We got to stop talking, and we have to start getting in political positions. That's why I'm running for mayor of Chicago. I know when I win the mayorship in Chicago, I'm going to be, because I'm one of y'all. I grew up at 5618 Carpenter. I know what it is to can't pay the light bill. I know what it is when the rent man come and he ain't got no rent. But because of God's grace, I was smart enough to say, I'm going to educate myself about this system. I'm going to continue to push. I'm going to save money. I'm going to learn about economics. And let me drop this at you. I graduated from high school when I was 15. I became a G at 12 when I met Larry Hoover at the field house in Moran Park. Him and Gator and them watched the shoe ball at. I went off to college. I got out of college. I bought a business. I bought a restaurant. I played professional ball. I professionally boxed. Had it not been for the brothers on the street that taught me these things, to stay out the jail, come home with C's, I would have probably been in jail like everybody else. So we have to stop waiting on these people, and we have to stop making excuses. When we're failing ourselves, we're failing our children, we're failing the future. And I want to say something to the sister that said something about January 6th. See, I was going to be at January 6th, but I got sick. We need to understand what happened at January 6th was not against democracy. What democracy do we have here in this country? Black people should have did a January 6th 25 years ago when they locked Larry up. See, white people, they fight for what they want. They stand on their business, and you can't take nothing from them without a fight. Black people have succumbed to just saying, we'll wait for somebody to help us. And that's why we're in this condition. It's about knowledge. It's about us coming together, building, teaching, grabbing our young men and telling them how to be men. Because we got men and women that don't know how to be men. They don't know how to be wives and husbands. They haven't been taught. And until we start teaching our young, I'm 67 years old. I got some time left. I'm fighting like hell for y'all on the screen, because the lack of knowledge, we perishing. We own everything. We own all the bullshit. We don't own nothing positive. And until we understand our position in this country, and we start putting, because it's the politics, and we start putting people in place that can write legislation to help us, who gonna stand up and say, you know what, this not gonna happen on my watch, until we get those type of people in office, because politics is the way, is the king to the key, keys to the kingdom. That's why I met with Trump and I told him, I said, look, man, y'all let January 6 people out. Why haven't Larry been out? He been on the ghost dope for over 50 years since 1973. Why haven't Jeff been out? You know why? Because they was outspoken in the community, because they raised men like me. And that's the hatred that they don't want. They don't want to see black men strong, family-oriented, entrepreneurship, taking their money, investing in the. They don't want to see that. And as long as we sit back and pontificate on these shows and don't come together and strategize, because this is an opportune time for us. It's very opportune for us right now, because black people in Chicago went and voted 47% for the Republicans. Even though I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent. And when you say the lesser of two evils, let me tell y'all this. I'm gonna ask y'all to research the Board of Education. We don't need it because it ain't taught our children nothing. We sitting around here crying about Elon Musk. Elon Musk should be doing what he's doing because they taking taxpayer dollars, sending them everywhere, paying for the homosexuals here and there. And guess what? We have to fight for 1 penny for our community, and we got black leaders. So for the lack of knowledge, we're perishing, and we won't unify. So when we sit here and we start talking about what we ain't got it because we ain't fought for it. We ain't got it because we ain't standing for it. We ain't got it because we're not trying to own nothing but the problems we got. And until we understand and think differently, we always going to be like this. But they're trying to wipe us out right now. This is an opportune time for black people. We already know that the Democrats will do nothing. It was Joe Biden's crime bill that put black men in jail, and black people still went and voted for him. Where is our pride? If you don't vote for Joe, you ain't black. Disrespect us. And we still took it. And we
Who
still
said
voted
that?
them in.
Wait a minute. Who said that, man? Who said that, man?
Joe Biden on the Breakfast Club told black people, you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe.
Come
and
on,
we still
man.
voted for him, man.
Come on, man.
Obama tried it too with old girl Kamala. You don't vote for her.
Come on, man.
Well, the point that I'm making, folks, is this. Sister, I like what you're doing down there in Memphis because it's ownership. When you're taking that and you're buying and you're putting black people back in this ownership. I got some property in Alabama. I'm gonna start growing organic foods, the 80 acres that we can take and use and distribute food all over the country in our own community. So these are the type of ventures that we need to be looking at. We don't need to keep waiting for them to do this and do that. If we invest into ourselves and organize our men and women and then get our children in some kind of order and teach them what it is to be a man and teach them how women's supposed to operate, teach them how families supposed to be, because right now they don't know that. And that's why they're dying in the streets like they are.
Okay, let me jump in.
Hold on, wait a minute. We're gonna bring on Mr. Parks and we got Mr. Jones.
Yeah, before y'all get in deeper, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Parks in and also Uncle them chime in. So bring them in and then let Ms. LaPortia People speak.
Yeah, it's finna get real interesting, y'all. We finna Carlo Parks, welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. How you doing?
Doing good. Peace and blessings to you, man. We saw you in
the
backstage.
Can you hear me?
You know, yeah, we can hear you.
Hey there, Carlos.
I'm gonna let you chime in.
Man, I thought y'all forgot about me. I've been back for half an hour, man. I came in and out.
Going in and out.
The car was at 6 o'clock, sir.
Yeah. Oh, so hold up. I'm confused. Okay, I see. When I came on,
there you go.
Everybody's picture moved, and I thought somebody left.
Oh no. Everything
right.
good. We got on.
We got Unc on.
Yeah, Unc on there. He
okay. All right, got
he's sitting there talking to somebody right now. So
yeah, I just say upside down, man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he don't realize it. He don't realize it.
Oh Lord.
Okay,
yeah, but
so we have an interesting. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was reading something.
I was glad to see my sisters on here, man. I'm glad y'all got the queens on, and gave them the platform, man, because they'll light it up.
Absolutely.
They'll light it up.
We ain't got into the meat. We ain't got into the meat yet. We getting ready to get to the meat. Yeah, we getting ready to get to the meat of it. We had a comment. I was reading a comment that came across the screen.
It's very interesting.
That's what got me thrown out, Lady Red. I was like, I know that controversy sells. Everybody has their own.
You want me to put it up?
Yes, ma'am. I would love. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Comment up, and I'm gonna see everybody's reaction to the comment. It's from Leland D. Evans. EI. With all due respect to the brother speaking, David Lowry, all your advice, suggestions, and standards are in accordance to Republican though you say independent, there is no working within the system that is and continue to be in order to liberate our people. Self-determination, and it's got that nation abbreviated, is the only solution. The only reparations we should want is 100% separation. So how do you guys feel about that comment?
Can I go?
That's why I said. That's why I said.
But we need those kind of comments.
Listen,
Who
I'll go. No, do one of the sisters want to go first? I'm gonna yield the floor to Dr. Amina or Dr. Carnita Atwater.
Dr. Matthews, I saw your hand. Chime in first.
That's something. That's something to marinate on. That's like, you know what I'm saying.
And look, if ain't nobody trying, I'll get at.
Go ahead.
I'm ready if nobody wants that.
I'll go, man.
Okay.
I can let me go ahead.
I know Brother Strong wanted to get it too, but I'll go. Because
he was talking to the
I can respond to that. Brother Leland, let me say this. Let me say this too. Brother Leland, I know him well.
Okay.
First of all, Black people need to be self-sufficient, and we should have been self-sufficient a long time ago because we don't understand economics. Dr. King went after social economic instead of economics because we don't understand money. Until Black people really get somebody in power, we can sit here and we can be on the thing all day. But if we got somebody in power that does not look out for us, then it doesn't do any good because they're using politics to control everybody. So first of all, we're gonna have to get rid of, we were talking about building the Black community back. We got to come together as one. And that means we got to get rid of all the politicians that are in office who are not doing nothing. How is it possible that we got all these Black people in office in the Senate, representative, and everywhere else, and Black people is last on the total poll in everything that we do? So I might sound like a Republican, but I know the Constitution. I know my rights. And that's what we have to do. If you don't know the Constitution and you don't know your rights, then you're always going to be trying to figure things out. So we have to become much more knowledgeable about this enemy we face. And it's us. If we don't educate ourselves about a system that's incarcerating us, if we don't stand up and march on Washington and fight like hell to get our brothers and sisters out and change legislation, then we got what we got. But you can see, just like they said about January 6th, them white folks, if you want to say that's what they did in insurrection with Black people, we shouldn't even care about that. Why should we care? That's white folks dealing with white folks. We should be trying to put our heads down, put them together, trying to put economics together, get everybody out of our neighborhood, get Habib out the gas station. See, we got everybody get rich off us. The Jews got rich off of us. The Chinese got rich off of us. Now we got Arabs in the community getting rich off of us. When we gonna get rich off each other? So until we clean our community up and get people in office that's gonna reflect what we need them to reflect, we always gonna be on here talking. We always gonna be on here talking about these solutions we're trying to put together. But if we're not making the changes in the government, if we're not making the changes in city, local government, if y'all are not running for aldermen or state reps or state senators, stop complaining about the Negroes that get to office and don't do nothing for us. This is our time to take our communities back, put people in office that gonna represent us and do what we need them to do.
Another one that popped up here, we're going to go to Hood Hope says the system has been, I'm going to show it up on the system has been used to the people's advantage on numerous occasions, for instance, the First Step Act. And then they stated after that, with all due respect, define fighting.
Define who?
Fighting. Oh, go ahead,
Mr. Doctor was saying.
Yeah, it's getting very interesting. I mean, the comments are coming in. We're gonna keep it running. I know it's a couple of people that want to speak on some things, clear up some things.
I can define fighting just a small little piece. It's like no different than what the Brotherhood Hope has been doing. This man that ran for the presidency twice. And then nobody, you know what I mean, as far as us, like fam say, we need people in power to bring change within the White Houses and all these legislators and things like that. First of all, we need to teach the people how to vote for more than just the president.
Yes.
We need to teach the people how to vote legislative. We need to teach them how to vote judicial. We need to actually create our own street mayor that's politically correct in these things that can actually help write these bills and give it to the mayor of Chicago or the mayor of Tennessee or the mayor of Texas and things like that. The politics in the streets need to become one situation in these things, because it seems like the streets is actually putting in the reinforcement measures of, let's just say, community endeavors. If we got somebody in there, we're not writing these bills no more like we used to write them and give them to these politicians and things like that. We're voting people in, and the politicians are dictating the laws that goes against us, God, and anything else up in there. So the fight starts with us. We're doing things like Brotherhood of Hope doing and things like that, and don't take it as far as like, since I'm doing it, nobody else is. You feel what I mean? We all doing the same thing. Some of us can't get into these avenues that other people get into, and some of them people are using them avenues against us because they are there. We have to get out of that.
You took the words right out my mouth. You took the word right out my mouth. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, really, the problem with us not having it, it's the problem with who's there. That's us. They feel like they need a paycheck for them to work with us.
Hey, look, one thing we need to do is identify who us is, and proper preparation prevents a poor performance. There's a lot of things that spoke on that a lot of people say, and one thing that I honestly get tired of is people overgeneralizing us as Black people.
Exactly.
Black people ain't doing this and Black people ain't doing that. See, it's different when you say, hey, those of you that can, please do. Those that's willing, stand up. See, those things, when we continue to spread the message that our people ain't doing shit because we can't solve the problem overnight, or because we fighting against systems that have they're unified against us. We have things coming at us from all fronts. But for some reason, one more time, like crabs in a barrel, we come together and we have to pull down those that don't look like they doing what we doing, or those that don't see things the way we have an Army, a Navy, an Air Force, and Marines for a reason. Diverse problems require diverse actions. Indeed. You know, you have people out here putting things together to attack these causes on all fronts. It wasn't Martin Luther King that solved the civil rights era. It wasn't Malcolm X. It was the people that stood up collectively, individuals that stood up and decided to fight. You might not have known 20 people in Tennessee that stood up, or the 100 that stood up in Arkansas, and you in Chicago saying ain't nobody doing shit. If wasn't nobody doing nothing, that would have never been no thing. We got to stop diminishing and devaluing people's efforts in order to solidify our own. You know, it's a lot of good people out here in these communities putting in the work. And like my man say, some of us got a few strikes against us that won't even let us indoors. I'm actually banned from all federal property just to keep it funky. This is the type of stuff we got to fight against. I can't go into school systems. I can't go to the juvenile centers. I got people in Florida trying to fight to get me in these doors, but I still been denied at every turn. So I take the fight how I can, which is the re-education. I will point out all falsehoods. I don't care if you look like me, you don't look like me, and I'm gonna stand with all truth, whether you look like me or don't look like me. Because if you look in them civil rights movement, it was a lot of
white folks, a lot of people
in the fight too.
Exactly.
This is a people issue. The Constitution is fucked up, just to be real. We're not gonna pretend like it's for us. I don't care how many band-aids you put on the problem, it's still there.
Still there.
The healing,
but you got to know your enemy.
I don't want, and that's it. And the enemy is allowing ourselves to be like led like asses after a carrot. You're chasing a dream that you're meant to wake up from. This shit is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't want your American dream. Keep that. I don't need it to survive. I don't need it to be sustained. Economics is about more than money. It's about the resources within the people. The people are the communities, not these houses, these buildings, and all that shit. It's the people. We have to invest in the people, starting with a re-education. Our hope has been lost. Our belief in us is gone. Our belief in the higher power is gone. We don't think we can do it because every time somebody gets to moving, it's people that look like us that say, y'all ain't doing shit.
Oh, shit. Yeah, what you said.
You said it. This is my thing here. And I love my educators that tell us to stop talking. How the hell are you, an educator, going to tell other educators to be quiet?
Right.
Yeah.
We need the teachers.
Yeah.
We need the people with the boots. We need every aspect. If you can teach, teach. If you can feed, feed. If you can fight, fight. Whatever you got. If you in the political field, dedicate yourself wholeheartedly. Become that.
Right.
I support you, my brother, if you into the politics, but while you doing your politics and I'm standing with you right now, when I turn around and I go down here and try to tell these young brothers the lies that they've been told by their little organizations and stuff, stand with me too. Don't say mine ain't worth shit because I ain't on Capitol Hill. I'm down in the valley.
Right.
I ain't talking to you exactly, but I'm just saying in general, this is what we do to each other. We tear each other down. See, I'm obedience to a set of laws and policies that surpass all of this nonsense. I stand on what I stand on, no matter who stand with me, and this is the collective of the we. We understand that no matter how we come together, it's a group of diverse individuals.
This boy so bad, man. It won't even...
These individuals stand together. We are a collective of individuals, which means your effort counts, my effort counts, her effort counts, his effort counts. And if one of these people walk away, we gonna feel that shit.
There's many members of the body, but one body. Right. And so we just like I said, we can talk and we can do this and that until we start taking actions about how we gonna retrain our children. Until we start taking action,
my brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
What I'm saying is,
it's not until we start doing it. Until those that don't know what's going on come find out and join us, we ain't gonna be able to.
But that is why. But what I'm saying is, hold on for a second. And I gotta back him up on it because word of mouth. We didn't have all this technology back then. Mm-hmm. We didn't have all of the resources back then. I'm a younger generation, but we still didn't have all these resources back then. So how can we go against something we don't have the resources to fight? Like you said, you got to know your enemy, but we have to have the resources. The only resource we had was word of mouth.
Where are the resources?
Our people, word of mouth. So we had to,
my question.
Right. We had
my
word
question
of mouth.
Is, I got a question for everybody on the panel, and answer this.
We're gonna get to it. I'm saying, like he said, the people are the resource. Word of mouth, I gotta tell him so he can tell him, so he can tell her, so she can tell her, and they can tell them, and they can tell them, and spread the word out so the message can get out. So saying that we just talking, I can't ride with you on that.
My
because
question
it has to manifest. It manifests somewhere else before it manifests in the physical. It's in the spiritual, then the physical, then it goes forward. You forgetting the process. You got to trust the process. You got to trust the process in anything, political, spiritual, economical, just in your household. So talking to me, brother, talking helps.
It does.
We don't talk. I don't mean to cut you out. I'm just saying we don't talk to each other. How can we get something? How can we get something solved?
My question to the people on the panel, brothers and sisters, are here. My father had a 3rd grade education. He didn't have no college. Black people was living on plantations. I'm 67. I picked and chopped cotton from 5 years old to 8 years old. How did the civil rights struggle become to the place where we start getting rights and we start taking care of our own communities? And we had all these uneducated people. And now we got all these educated people. We got people in place, and the Black community is in the worst condition I've ever seen it out of these years. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Because we allowed the people
Can I take that one? Hold on. Can I take that one?
Yes,
Hold on. Can I take that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. Let me. Yes, ma'am. I can take that one right now. Hey, Ambassador, I know you got my back. I know you do.
Go ahead.
You know what, Pastor Larry? I tell you where that went. What happened in our communities was it was the faith-based leaders it was the pastors and
Yes.
the politicians. Hold on, sir. We listen to you out. That my father, Mr. Hoover, and others in the city of Chicago put their trust in. And it was their fellow brethren that incarcerated them, sir, and started the mass incarceration with Burgess and all of his Virginites. So we understand where that comes from. So that's why we're here today and have been here for a while talking about my arm that I can put in to be a part of that body, sir. So, what I would like to see in our community, because I lived up at 79th and Bennett, and I also lived in Orange Mound in Memphis. So, I've had the lesser of both of the two evils in that aspect. But I also know that, yes, until we as a people come together, which that's what we constantly do. We constantly do that. But what we constantly also do is we take faith-based leaders and other leaders that is not a part of our community, have not been a part of our community, but have taken from our community since the 60s, that we have to adhere to their funding or whatever resources that they have. What we're on this call to talk about is what we're going to do without their funding, what we're going to do without their support, because we don't need it. We don't need it. We know exactly what arm that my position in and what leg that the ambassador does. The only thing we need to do is just rally up together, get stronger, get bigger. And if you're not what I'm on, then move out the way, sir. We're going to get what we need to get done. I got to get my dad up out the mountain. It's nothing to talk about. And my dad wants me to help Mr. Hoover get out of that mountain. So it's nothing to talk about. That's why I started speaking about freedom schools. Those are solutions that we need to start thinking about. How would that look in our community with our people that we serve? So that's all that I want to, weigh into that.
Furthermore, it's just we have to understand that the White House is not our only solution to freeing our brothers and sisters that's locked up inside these turmoils or getting a SADA back. We tried the whole thing that we tried in the 60s and the 90s and ended up with the same faith leaders and fake leaders that actually went up there to that White House and made a deal and took everybody down. And then sat there and everything about that, change the laws of these kind of situations and stuff like that to make it impossible for some of these brothers and sisters to get out of jail. And you know what the kicker was? They killed Tookie. So it was a sacrifice in the whole situation with the brainwash of the politics. Like, this is what we always need. And this is why I keep saying re-educate the value, teach them about politics, and put our own politician in these streets that can help that politician that we choose in that White House or in that alderman office or things like that. The lines of communication has to be open on both sides of the field, not just in one field where somebody sit there and have a conversation with a whole bunch of people and none of us on the streets know nothing about what's being said. You see what I'm saying? It's just like being in the penitentiary and I need to go talk to the captain, but I ain't got nobody with me to hear what we're talking about. What are you talking about?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The communication has to be on all levels, because I knew you was up there talking to them brothers about that kind of situation, and my prayers was to you that you had made a solution to that problem. You feel what I mean? And it sounds like the solution is we need to make a whole lot of noise, start marching and doing this, that, and the other that cause radicalism.
Yeah.
Angry black man syndrome. Yeah, all this. Yeah. We know the plot is that, hey, what they're doing in these streets is the reason why we keeping them up in there, when the real reason is that they're too educated, advanced, and see through the bull crap of the monopoly that they are doing according to the genocide, the education snatching away, the dummy down, the music, the penitentiary system, the private prison. We ain't gonna talk about Germany and Russia that's been going on since way before Reagan even signed a drug bill that, let's say, Obama signed all over again when he got in office. And what's wrong with getting off welfare? Clinton did it. He signed the same deal. We did nothing but prosper off of being off welfare. Sometimes you need to be forced to get up off of something that'll keep you down. So if you cut welfare off, what we gonna do? We're gonna take care of each other and get up and go to work.
That's the blessing. That's the blessing in taking some of these things that they cause the changes or force the changes that people couldn't see. A lot of us can't identify right now because of different financial brackets. First off, the lie's been told to cause the separation. So we have all these lies that we deal with on a daily basis. All the misinformation, the red line. Hey, if you live over here, you're better than the people. You came from here, but because you moved there, you feel like you're better than these people now, even though you know the truth. The brainwash is real. It's planted in us all day long through music and everything else. We have to look at cause and effect. You know what I'm saying? Our young women feel that they have to exploit themselves and degrade themselves and be half naked. Why? Because that's what seems to get our attention. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it because this is what we seem to be appeased by. Our young men are picking up the guns, the drugs, and things of that nature. Why? Because this is what we taught them. We glorified the no nonsense, I don't give a fuck attitude and stuff like this. We say that we don't want the police in our community, that we'll police our own communities. When you look out of your door, who are you going to call for help? You ain't spoke to your neighbor since you moved in. We don't know each other. How I'm going to trust you to protect me and I can't count on you for a cup of sugar no more. Things are real. Like we have to look at cause and effect. Like you say, a lot of talking is done, but a lot of talking is going to bring some light to this bullshit so some action can take place. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you getting to the White House and getting where you got to. I guarantee your ass it was a lot of silver tongue going on in there. You know what you got to do. That communication has to be there in order for us to make to bridge them gaps. The education has to come by pointing out and then reteaching the things, not only in speech, but in action. Because see, we do what we say we do. We don't just tell people, we actually doing it so you can watch us and see it in motion. Yeah, it's not a lie. No, I'm not a millionaire. I don't got all these other things in this nature, and I don't own a lot of things, but you know what I got? Love, life, and loyalty. I'm gonna stand with you. Discipline, dedicated, and determined until we get to where we go. I have integrity. My why is my why. I'm not going to abandon this struggle. I'm going to see it through because I have babies. I have grandbabies. This is who I do it for. My why has nothing to do with whether you believe in me or not, but I hope you believe in the mission so that you will do your share. You don't have to believe in me. Believe in the mission, believe in your God and your ability to accomplish what you set your mind to. And I hope it's on the same side of the tracks as me.
Right.
If we start this world all over this country, if we ignite these fires, these little smoldering people who are upset, who are hurt, who are oppressed, who are tired, if we can start that fire, put that one fire burning there, and now you got emergency calls coming from everywhere. They standing up, they waking up. Oh my God, where do we start first? We can't lock up one of them because all of them standing up. Yep. Don't follow me, stand with me. We need to stop trying to put a man on top and just get the men to stand the fuck up. My bad. Sorry, y'all. It is.
That's all right.
You good?
But hey, I want to say this right here. Before you start this, I want to say this. You know, I listen to everything everybody had to say. I want to go back to point to majority of the these marches that we take, we take in these unification marches or whatever these marches that we go in these states and do. I know majority of everybody on this panel have participated in these galleries and stuff like that. But never once have I seen this stuff go on year round. We go one time, it don't happen no more. It's like an anniversary or something. You do it once a year. You know what I'm saying? You can't put nothing together for just a once a year program. You can't put a unity together just for 1 year. We do it in January of 2024. We're gonna do it January of 2025. The stuff that we do, the march, the protest, everything, got to do this stuff on a monthly basis. There can't be because if you let it go, it ain't gonna be no follow up. That's why every time somebody asks me to go somewhere or do something, I said, okay, what's the next move? If we're gonna do this in the next time, we're gonna do this a month from now, or this just it. We just gonna come here and take what is the option of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't have a whole lot of money, but I got common sense. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it comes down to I'm not on here trying to, how can I put it? I'm not on here trying to deliberate or nothing like that. I know we all on here fighting the same cause. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's agenda, is different. But I hope everybody's agenda can be the same at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? Our agenda got to be the same in order for us to be able to unite. I don't care what nobody say. Like Dr. She said, we got to, man, learn how to accept one another, man. From the up, good, bad, whatever case might be. There's some of us have, some of us have made it through the bad part of our life. Some that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like Spawn said, there's some things that he can't get into. It's a whole lot of stuff I can't get into in Mississippi. A lot of stuff I can't get